Howdy, friends and floorheads. Welcome to episode 2 of ACHTUNG CTHULHU. It feels like it's been a really long time since we've played.
Does.
So,
That's because it has been a
it
really long
really
time since we
has.
played.
It really has.
It's
So,
been a
we've got
month.
our old friends back. We've got Patrick playing Tomas. We've got Mike playing Lucky. And we, of course, got Victoria playing Amelia. Now, for those of you that may have missed episode 1, or maybe it's been a long time since you've seen episode 1, if you remember, our 3 characters were sanctioned and brought in by Section M, which is a division of the British government that fights the Nazis as they dabble in the supernatural. They were told that they got a transmission from a French resistance contact that said that there was some funny business going on in a small village in France, occupied France, called Saint-Sulhac. So, it's easy peasy. We're just going to drop you off here in France. Little did they know or expect there was a huge storm. So they were dropped outside of the village. When they finally landed and got together, they began to head towards where they were supposed to meet this French resistance fighter. We encountered a few Nazis. We fought a few Nazis, and we dodged a few Nazis. But over time, you were able to work your way through to one of the outskirts where you found our contact, Aramis.
You forgot one thing.
What did we forget?
The storm and the mental pressure that we've been having, the kind of headache makers.
That's correct. So periodically, there's some sort of energy burst that seems to be coming from the town itself that has been mentally attacking you. So yeah, that's a great point, Mike. Thank you. So you've made contact with Aramis. So let's fade in from black. And let's start off way above the village of Saint-Sulhac. We can see that the village itself is completely dark. All of the street lights are off. The rain isn't as hard, and there's lightning, but it's not hard wind sideways. It seems to be centered mostly around this village. In the center of Saint-Sulhac is a chateau. It almost looks like a castle in the middle of this small village. And up above, we've got searchlights that have been installed at the very top that are looking and surveying all throughout the village itself. As the camera zooms down, we go to a storm cellar. And inside the storm cellar, we can see Tomas, Amelia, and Lucky still wet from the rain, but finally free of the elements. And inside this storm cellar, there's a couple cots. There's a young boy that first greeted you, but then there's also someone who did the passcode with you, and that is Aramis. And right before we broke, we noticed that Aramis appears to have a gunshot wound to his stomach. So let's get started with Aramis working his way with the help of this young boy back to his cot, and he sits down.
When did you get that? Pointing at the wound. And how?
So Lucky, you were able to provide him a cigarette, and he lights it.
Yeah.
And explains to you that it happened earlier today. They were rounding up villagers. And finally got a little bit closer to my home than I wanted to. And I couldn't resist. I called some of the fighters, and we ambushed them. They have a lot of soldiers.
Define a lot. Like 20, 200, 2,000?
There had to have been 20, 25 of them. And we were able, there was some fire. The farm was set on fire, and that gave us some cover to get away. But unfortunately, and he kind of just winces as he's got his hand on there. It looks like he may have stopped the bleeding, but he's not well. You can see he's very pale. He says, I unfortunately, did get shot. But
Thomas, go ahead.
Nope, please.
Tomas will kind of say, well, hold on a second. Hold on a second now. And he's going to come over and he's going to see if he can just do anything to the wound. He's got a couple ranks in medicine.
Great. So what is our attribute and skill that we're going to use? This will be our first roll.
So obviously the skill will be medicine.
Mm-hmm.
insight or reason. I'm not sure which one. I'm thinking reason, but I'm also biased. My reason's much higher.
No, so how? Let's think of it this way. So, how would you use medicine with insight versus reason? Do you think?
So Tomas is very analytical and focused. So I think he would remember what he's read from his biology and all of his training at the university, and he would just be like, okay, where did the bullet go in at? Did it pierce the muscle wall, the end of the gut cavity? Is there internal organ damage? He's going to look for that kind of stuff and see what he can do.
Totally
That's
makes
the
sense to
classic
me.
thing is reason is doing it by the book. Insight is making a estimated guess and guessing right.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So Tomas's combined attribute and reason would be what?
13.
13. So that's going to be your target number. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the 2d20 system, they by default, a player, when they're making a roll, they get to roll 2d20s. And their target number is determined by a combination of their attribute and skill. So in this case, what Tomas needs is a 13 or lower to do for one success. By default, most attempts are going to require one success. So this is a difficulty 1, so he'll just need to get one success. Now, they can add dice. So one way they can add dice is by using a resource called momentum, which they get by having extra successes. Right now, they have no momentum, but Patrick or Tomas, to be more specific, could buy an extra die by giving me threat, which is my counterpart resource as well. So we're going to roll 2d20, or do you want to buy some dice?
I don't think Tomas needs it for this, and I don't think we need to be generating threat yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll 2d20.
Let's roll 2d20 and hope that one of them is 13 or less.
Oops,
Yes.
I rolled 1. I'll roll the other. Sorry, I didn't roll 2 right there.
That's all right.
I'll roll 1 more, and I've forgotten Forge. There we go.
All right.
7 and 11. Or 7 into 10.
So I'm showing you a 9 and a 10.
Oh, you are correct.
Oh, it's because you by mistake had a +2 modifier on it. So yes, it was a 7 and a 10. All right. So 7 and a 10, that means you're going to gain 1 momentum. So I'll increase your momentum by 1.
Okay.
So Tomas goes in there, and at first Aramis seems kind of a little hesitant to let you get in there. But once you kind of explain to him that this is what you do, sit
back. Do you want to die, idiot Frenchman? Let me fix this for you.
So he pulls his hand away, and you can see an entry wound. You can't see an exit wound. You are able to make sure that the bleeding has stopped, but your prognosis is not very good unless this man were to get not just medical attention, but he needs a hospital.
Okay.
And he says, "Thank you." He goes, "What's more important is what's happening. What's happening here." By the way, this is my wonderful French accent, so enjoy this.
Well, we are.
Oh, good. Soak it in.
I feel like I'm in the south of France already.
It's magnifique.
4 days ago, all of the Germans were cleared out and replaced by the Black Sun. Everything seems to be centered on the chateau. They have been gathering villagers and taking them there. We have yet to see any return.
Ooh, that was my next question. So how many villagers are left?
It's very difficult to say. I would estimate that maybe 20 have gone in. And of course, have several hundred that live here. But none of us have been allowed to leave. They've been searching. I don't know how much longer we'll be safe. They're obviously aware of the resistance. Have you made your presence known?
We ran into a team who was searching for the resistance to the southeast. The run-in did not go well for them.
I don't know what your orders are as Section M, but something has to be done. Whatever's happening inside of that chateau is pure evil.
Now, we also were supposed to be looking for some reinforcements coming in, correct?
Your contact at Section M told you that if they did not hear from you, I believe it was in 3 or 4 days, that they would send another team.
Well, I thought there
specifically.
was something about some Black Sun reinforcements or trucks coming in or something. I thought we
Yeah,
had something.
that's right. Black Sun is going to reinforce soon.
Um, uh, I don't remember that, but that's possible. Possible that I said that. I think one of the big things, and Aramis shares this with you, is that not only were all of the Germans, the normal German soldiers, evacuated out and replaced by the Black Sun, but large convoys of trucks that were covered were driven to the center, and driven inside of the chateau complex. He says at no point were they able to discern what exactly were on these trucks, but they were heavily guarded as they went. All heavy equipment was evacuated, though. So there were a few Nazi tanks that were on the outskirts of the town during the initial occupation. But when the Black Sun arrived, all tanks and everything, all heavy artillery were taken out of the village.
So all the military type gear were taken out, kind of. Okay.
Does he know anything about the layout of the chateau?
I have never been to the chateau, and there is, for the three of you, I'm sure you're very skilled, but it would be very dangerous for you to attempt to infiltrate. And then he kind of looks to the young boy and he says, go outside. Stand outside and make sure that no one is close. The boy, who's about 13, stands up and heads out. As soon as the boy's out of earshot, he says, beneath CTHULHU, there are tunnels. These tunnels predate the Romans, and they connect cellars and sewers. At my farm, I have a truck, a dairy truck. And under the back left wheel is a door. If you go into that door, it will take you to my root cellar. From there, you will see a case. If you move the case, it will take you into the tunnels. And if you follow these tunnels, it should take you to the chateau.
Very good. Tomas is like, we could just burn the chateau down.
Trust me,
The
all
people
of
are probably.
this has been considered, but I've got at least 20 of my countrymen are in there. It's been women and children, men.
Oh, they haven't been picky about who they picked up.
No, it's been families.
Okay.
Well, on the bright side, doing the
Very good.
tunnels means we don't have to worry about the searchlights.
When they took these people in, is that when this noise, this wind started? This feeling?
So the storm has been here for well over 24 hours now, and yes, it intensifies as more and more are taken in.
All right. Well, I worry that we will not be getting these people back, but I guess we should try and not just rid us of it. All right. Okay. He looks at you guys and is like,
Can we have more exact directions to your farm, please?
Yes, give me there's paper over there. There's paper over there. And you hand him paper, and he draws you a small map, and he shows in the northeast where you are inside of this storm cellar.
Yeah.
And he shows you basically a path to take that'll take you north, north of the village, west, and then roughly in the northwest section, almost mirror to where you are now, is where his dairy farm is. He also explains to you that his family has been moved, that his home and his barn should be empty. The dairy truck is there. You can just start it up and move it, and you should be able to get right in.
okay.
What's Amelia think about all this? What is Amelia doing all this?
I mean, clearly we need to go to the chateau. It's probably the only place we're going to get any sort of answers. Kind of wondering if the tunnels go all the way there, because that would be real convenient. Also, tunnels underground that predate the Romans is real interesting.
That is.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah. It makes me think like Celtic or something like that. You're right.
So he lays down, and tells you, you know, I wish there was more I could do.
Okay.
I can only wish you Godspeed.
All right. So we take inventory of what we have. Yeah, Tomas is more just thinking, you know, this is interesting, these tunnels. Like, I think he would have thought of it, but you're correct. I didn't think of that at all until you mentioned it, Victoria. But yeah, Thomas would have been locked onto that immediately, like, huh. So he's lost in that. He's not thinking about planning operation-wise. He's not the soldier like you guys are.
I was just thinking is if there are a lot of tunnels under the chateau, a well-placed couple of charges could really shift that foundation.
Yeah, I thought that too.
If only we knew somebody who
Hostages.
knew explosives.
Yes, but hostages.
Yeah, but them first and then blow it up.
Thomas won't voice it in front of the locals, but from his experiences in Prague, because he's had experience with the Nazis for a while, since 1937, and this stuff's been going for a while, those people probably aren't coming back out.
Yeah, but we have to be sure. We can't just say they're not coming back out because we made sure they're not coming back out.
We found their bodies.
So you hear a clang and of the storm door closing, and the young boy comes back in, and he's absolutely just drenched, and just kind of shakes his head to Aramis, indicating nothing. Everything's clear.
I think that's our best bet then.
Yeah.
Time to-
I will ask Aramis if he's got any supplies or anything like that around.
I mean, you can. I have my gun, but I would prefer to keep it here in case I'm
Okay, that's fine.
discovered. Yeah,
Do you have any fertilizer and diesel fuel at your farm?
Of course, yes, I have both.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, it should be in the barn with the truck.
Okay, those tunnels. This will be good. Yes, we have this. We have a solution. Well, we will look for your villagers, but please. And he looks at the boy and just is like, leans at Aramis, like, do not get your hopes up. I have seen what they do. Do not get your hopes up. We will try, but be prepared.
So with map in hand, are the three of us heading out?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
To the farm.
Two of us and somebody who keeps following us. Except
So
we never see her.
the shadow. So we see the three of you open up the storm door, and then the boy did not oversell it. The winds are just intense, and you step back out, close the storm door. You can hear it lock behind you, and taking a look at the map, you begin to head out. We're going to go ahead and cut to our next scene. And another little feature of 2D20 is every scene change, our players lose a momentum. So it's very much an encouragement to use it or lose it. There wasn't really an opportunity for you to use it during that scene.
Well, we had one, and so that's gone.
Yeah.
Does threat reset too?
It does not. It
Okay.
does not.
As we're driving over there, I want to use my one trait real fast.
That's
so
some
as we're driving,
bullshit.
because Tomas assumes he's not driving, and he really has a bad feeling about these visitors, so he won't mention to he's not going to mention it to the other two. But as you drives over, you've seen him clutch his chest and that something under his chest. You guys probably think it's just like a necklace or like a cross or something, but what you can't see is there's a small clay amulet under there. And as he clutches it, I'm going to use my weird trait, my bizarre insight. Once per scene, I'm going to generate one threat to obtain information. I'm going to ask the GM a question without passing a skill test. How likely is it that these people are alive? You don't give me a yes or no, but I would just, he's trying to figure out, because he gets whispers from this. This is what he stole from the university and fled Prague and abandoned the resistance to get this away from the Germans.
And I think if it's all right with you, Patrick, I feel more comfortable about this happening inside the storm cellar, right, as opposed to driving through this torrential rains. And I would imagine there's a little bit more chaos there. So you grip the amulet and begin to try to focus on, trying to get a sense of the fate of these locals, of these villagers that he talks about. And with my additional threat, I'm now at 7. You get a sense that, what's the best way to put it? Not all are alive and not all are dead.
Okay.
It's a good
So
way to put it.
there is time. There's time for some at least. Okay. All right. He kind of feels these whispers and okay. And he looks at you guys and he's like, as about to leave, he's like, we should hurry. I don't think the longer we tarry, the less happy this outcome will be. And it is already pretty grim.
Well, I wasn't planning to sit down for tea. Okay, we head out into the storm and over to the dairy farm.
So we see the 3 of you jump into the Jeep that you stole, and following the map, staying well outside the perimeters, you head there. And I'm imagining, before getting within, say, 200 or 300 yards of this farm, we've turned off the lights on the Jeep, maybe even parked it to make sure that we're not making any noise. Though, quite frankly, with the degree of wind and just the sheer rain and everything, you probably could get away with playing a trumpet at this point and it wouldn't be heard over all of this racket. You get and you see the farm. You're in the woods out surrounding it. The tree is giving you, the trees of the forest on the outskirts of where you are, giving you some cover from this stormy weather. You see his home. It's a small, maybe 3-room farmhouse, and there's no lights. It's dark, but he did explain that his family, he had his family moved.
I would have been worried if there were lights.
There are some lights, though, and you can see him in the barn. So as you look to the barn, there appears to be flashlights. Really difficult to tell or get a sense of how many flashlights. You can see that the main door of the barn is half ajar and open, but from where you are right now, you can't quite see anything. But there appears to be somebody or some buddies in the barn.
Rain is still drumming down.
Very much so.
So on a wood roof of a barn, it's practically an echo chamber in there, probably.
Probably very loud.
Yeah.
I assume we saw these lights through like a window of some sort.
Yeah, so out the door, and then there's some high windows that are
okay.
probably for a loft area in there, and they're not focused, right? So it's not like somebody with a flashlight walking. It appears to be flashlights all throughout the barn, being shined all throughout the barn.
Like a small group searching for something would make this kind of light pattern.
That would match.
Okay.
Tomas will just look at Amelia and motion.
How many lights can I count?
It's real difficult to tell. It's at least 2, but if it was 4 or 5, you wouldn't be surprised. It's really hard to tell because you're not seeing all of them at the same time or in the same, the same location.
Okay.
And like we said, from where you are, you really can't hear anything at this point. The weather is just too much.
On the bright side, neither can they.
This is true.
Gonna sneak up to the barn, I guess.
So talk to me about your approach, Amelia. What if you're imagining the barn with a large barn door that's about half ajar? Let's say that's pointed south. On the eastern side of the barn, there is a door. That's the side that's facing you and also facing the farmhouse. That appears to be closed. You've got second-story windows, like I mentioned, that likely lead to a hayloft. What is your approach, Amelia?
I'm gonna sneak over to this eastern door.
Okay.
Um, and fingers crossed, attempt to open it.
Okay. So let's do the sneaking part. How are we
Mhm.
going to sneak over there?
Just like stay crouched, be slow.
Okay. Attribute and skill.
Um, attribute, I suppose, would be agility,
Sounds good.
and then skill would be stealth.
Great. So what does that combined give you for a target number?
15.
So normally this would be a difficulty 1 for you to do it, but because of the storm, which in this game there's things called truths. So characters have truths, and there's also truths that are affecting the scene. So one of the truths that are happening right now is this stormy weather, and truths affect the difficulty. So this stormy weather, if Amelia was trying to shoot into the barn right now, would make the difficulty harder. But in this case, it is helping her. So you go from a difficulty 1 to a difficulty 0, which means you are going to succeed. You're going to be able to get to the barn without being detected. And then any successes you have right now can turn into momentum.
Okay.
So you want to just do the standard 2d6 or 2d10? I mean, 2d20. Good Lord, I'll be here if you need me.
Yes, I will do the
Only
standard
the name of the goddamn
2d20.
system. Jesus. You guys want to play Modificus 2d8?
8d2, you just toss a bunch of coins.
So let's see if we can get some momentum
flip system.
for
Yeah,
this.
let's go.
All
1.
right. Yeah, but we also have a crit fail too with that 20.
Bummer.
Yeah, so you're going to get 1 momentum. So you guys are at 1 of 6. And let's do this. So Amelia, I'm imagining Amelia, first you kind of leverage the fact that the farmhouse there is on that side, and by hiding behind the farmhouse first to get you closer. By the time you get to the farmhouse itself, you're maybe 100, 150 yards away from the barn, and you're kind of inching your way. Just the eaves of the farmhouse is giving you a little bit of respite from the worst of the rain. You're assessing the situation. The lights are starting to settle. The flashlights, they're not nearly as frenetic as they were before. And as you begin to make your first step to cross this 150 yard span to get to the barn, you hear a barking coming from the barn.
Uh-oh.
You've seen dogs. You've seen small dogs. You've seen big dogs. This is a barking, but it's tonally deeper and darker than anything you've ever heard before. And it causes you to freeze right where you are and slowly bring your foot back.
Don't like that.
Some cover behind the house. The barking is directed towards you, and we start to see flashlights pointed to the open barn door. And it's just this
we
guttural.
notice anything back there?
Nothing
we
has come
too
out.
far?
I'm going to give Amelia a chance to act here a little bit, but before we do that, but it appears that attentions have been directed towards Amelia. It appears that this dog, and it sounds like just one, either smelled Amelia or heard Amelia, but it was definitely, as a result of Amelia's movement that triggered this just deep guttural barking that just like the hair on the back of your arm stands up, Amelia, hearing this.
Are there? I'm by the farmhouse, right?
Correct.
Are there doors into the house nearby?
There are.
I will try one to see if it's locked.
All right. So you you can do this it's on the opposite side of the barn. So there's no danger here if anyone in the barn seeing you. You're able to slide over to the front door and you latch it and it is unlocked.
I'm gonna go inside.
So Tomas and Lucky, you see Amelia doing the plan, right? Headed right to the farmhouse, going there, and she stops and you hear this barking. And it sounds like this dog is in front of you. That's how loud and resonant the sound is. You see Amelia react to this and you see her slide in to the farmhouse.
How long do we give her?
I would say a count of 10, and then is there another, like, it's hard to see without seeing it. Is there like another into the farmhouse maybe? Like, is that the only way in right there?
From where you're looking, so she went into the front door, which is facing where you guys are in the forest itself. In
Gotcha,
a
okay.
typical, a typical farmhouse, there's likely a back door as well, but that would be more than likely facing the barn side. It's one story. There appears to be a couple windows.
I'm gonna move over towards the side of the building. If there's like a window on the side, I'm gonna try to move over towards that. I'm gonna give her like a count of 10 once she goes in, because I know
Lucky?
she's the expert at this.
I have drawn my pistol when the bark went off, and I'm just keeping careful sight. I'm actually going to pull out a pair of binoculars and just take a really close look to see if I can catch glimpses of anything through the ajar door from where I am. But I just want to, intel is intel.
So all of this is kind of happening simultaneous, right? We see Amelia head in, we see Lucky reach in and pull out his binoculars. And we see, Tomas starting to make his way to kind of meet Amelia at the house. And Lucky, as you've got the binoculars up, they definitely make things closer, but they don't get rid of the rain. But
or the barn door.
Yeah, you do see two men initially step out from that barn door. They both have flashlights. One of them appears to have a rifle. One appears to have a pistol. The guy with the rifleman has got his rifle up. The gentleman with the pistol has got it out. They are the clear black regalia, hats and mask of the Black Sun. They're very cautious. Guns out. As they step out, you see this shadow come out from the barn. Roughly the size of a very large St. Bernard, maybe, but it's very difficult to tell. It's dog-shaped. It's huge. You can see a chain that goes back into the barn. As this thing is moving, you can see its nose down to the ground. But it's very hard to get a sense of the form. All you can get a sense of is size. And as it continues kind of sniffing and moving out from side of the barn, incidentally, as I'm talking, interrupt me at any point, obviously.
Yeah.
You see a man in a far more I would say
ornate?
Not fancy, maybe ornate is a better way. A far more ornate uniform is at the other end of this chain.
That's why I was wondering whether it was chained down or being led.
And you can see that the chain is wrapped around his wrist. And Lucky, you would swear that there's some sort of light coming from his closed hand as he's holding this, but it's really difficult to tell. But I think what causes you, honestly, to take your binoculars down for a second because you don't want to look at it is when whatever this thing looks up and you see just coal red eyes lit up and burning, and it seems to look directly at you and through you.
Okay, then I'm putting the binoculars away for fear of reflection, if nothing else. Although in the rain, that'd be next to impossible. Can I see how Tomas is doing?
Yeah, Tomas, let's go ahead and do a roll. How are we going to make our way over?
So I would assume this would probably be stealth and coordination.
I'm good with that. What's your target?
That will be 12.
All right. Did you want to buy any dice? You have one momentum.
You have. Let's save the momentum. I feel like there's something nasty coming up. So I'm gonna
Okay.
do 2d20. I
So
got
you're
a
just
12. Let's save that momentum. 12's pretty good. Odds are. Well, what's the difficulty first?
So it'll be difficulty. It'll be difficulty 1 normally. Then
Okay.
it would be 0 because of the rain, but because of this thing, I'm putting it back up to difficulty 1.
Okay. So I think my odds are in my favor with a 12. So I'm gonna just roll 2d20.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. I
Never
I
say
always
that.
roll wonderful. I roll wonderful.
All right. So between the 2 d20s, we need one of them to be 12 or lower.
Okay. Got it. 15 and a 6.
15 and a 6. So that is going to be a success. So Tomas, walk me through going from the edge of this forest over to the building.
So he's moving kind of, I'm assuming there's like an opening around the outside and the brush goes around the side. He's kind of skirting that side. He's got his pistol out in his hand. He's not trying to get too close to that clearing because he doesn't want to get in Amelia's way. She's the expert at this, but he's done this before, but it's been in a city. That's his specialization. So he's a little out of sorts in the woods. Like he feels more like his all stalking. This has been inside of city streets and stuff. So he's a little out unnerved, but the storm makes him feel a little bit better. So he'll sneak his way around the side over there. And I don't know at what point he sees this dog and this handler come out.
So I'm imagining, if we think of the timing, it happens about when you're about halfway there. So you're still in visual sight of it. And would it make you pause or go a little bit faster, Tomas, as soon as you saw these cold, glowing eyes?
No, he will freeze. He will go still, like the rabbit that sees the wolf. He will go just stiffly still. And then he's going to reach his hand back into his kit and pull it off in front of him.
So Amelia, let's cut inside of the farmhouse. So you make it into what is obviously a common room. It appears to be there's a table, 3 or 4 chairs around a small, actually really well-made wood table. A kitchen, you can see an open hearth fireplace.
She'll probably crouch down so she's not like in a window, but like also still try to see out of it. So she's just,
So as you kind of move over to a window that's facing that barn side, the barking is going, then the barking stops, which both Tomas and Lucky know it's because this dog's nose went to ground, right? So the barking stopped when that happened. And Amelia, as you kind of peek up through the window, you initially see exactly what Lucky saw come out of the barn. So you see this thing come out of the barn attached with this chain. You see its nose to the ground, and then you see its head come up, and you see those burning coal red eyes that aren't looking at you. They're looking beyond you back to where Lucky and Tomas were. So I think that brings everybody up to current.
Are there any sign of the cattle? It's a cow farm, a dairy farm.
From where you are, you can kind of see some fencing that obviously appears to be like behind the barn itself. Very difficult that you see no cows or anything. But to be honest, if those cows were 10 yards beyond that fence, you wouldn't see them anyway. So you don't hear any cows, you don't see any cows, but that doesn't mean that this is a farm without cows.
Yeah, I was mainly wondering whether there was any mooing or sound from inside the barn.
No.
Okay. The dog, I'll use the term dog for now, has not crossed any of our paths. Does it look like it's approaching any path that like where Amelia walked or where Tomas is?
So when it looked at you, Lucky, based off of its reaction, it didn't see you, right?
Yeah.
Its nose has gone back to ground, and it's doing its own version of a search pattern. You can see it's going left and right, and no, it does not appear to have really picked up anybody's specific scent, but it's looking. It is headed towards the farmhouse. versus heading towards you, so which is a slightly different vector.
How's the wind right now? Is it at our back or face?
It's all over the place. So there's times where the wind's coming from your left, from the east. Sometimes it's coming from the west. Sometimes it's swirling. It's very difficult to get a sense of where the wind is coming or going.
Okay, so it's hard to get upwind or downwind of it if you can't tell where the wind is.
Exactly. You feel like 2 minutes later it might be coming from a different direction.
Yep.
All right. Well, this is creepy. So are they moving as a group? The Black Sun with this handler and the dog.
So
What?
You've got the handler. He's got about a 10-foot chain behind this thing. That chain is taut.
Okay.
And behind him, kind of covering his back, are the other two soldiers. They're not back to back with them, but they're covering kind of his flanks. They seem to be very concentrated on their field of view. They don't appear to be worried about what the dog is doing or what the handler is doing. They're just kind of keeping pace with it. But to be clear, they're not moving very quickly. The dog is being very meticulous.
Any other lights in the barn now that these three have left?
No, you can now account for 3 flashlights, one for each of the soldiers and one for who we're calling the handler.
Tomas is going to reach into his kit and pull out a charge and start fitting a fuse into it. That's going to take him a few minutes, but he's going to start doing that.
Okay.
This farmhouse door, did it open inwards or outwards?
It would have opened outwards to the outside.
Okay. Gonna go ahead and lock that.
Okay. And it has an actual bar lock, right? So it doesn't have any type of locking mechanism, but you do see the ability to take a piece of wood which is laying next to it on the inside, and you're able to slide that down and
Okay.
bar close that door.
Okay.
I know you mentioned a table and chairs. Is there any other furniture?
So to get to the kind of the side facing there, you walk in and it looks like this is just a two room house. So now you're coming to a place where there's beds that are obviously hand built. As you count, there's one larger bed and 2 smaller beds. The smallest of the beds is maybe, for like a 5 or 6 year old. Other one for maybe a teenager or an adult, and then you would assume a husband and wife or a couple in the larger bed. In that room, you also have the back door that's facing the barn. I'm going to assume that you latch that as well. So we're going to have both the front and the back barred. And if there's something specific you need, I'll tell you whether it's there or not. But it does not appear that Aramis is a rich man.
Okay. I was just wondering about stuff that could be used to barricade a door if need be.
Oh yeah. So Aramis may not be a rich man, but it appears Aramis is a woodworker. So you notice the table,
Mhm.
which is just a hefty, beautiful table. And the beds themselves are all very large, very well built and very heavy. So yeah, if you wanted to push that table against the door, that's definitely doable. The beds we're going to have to roll for though.
Let's go ahead and push the table against the front door, and we'll leave the back door kind of open in case need to beat a hasty retreat.
You haven't watched enough horror movies. You're supposed to barricade yourself completely in. Tomas,
So,
you have stopped in
I
your
think
tracks.
she has watched enough horror movies, so she knows what happens when you barricade yourself completely in.
You've stopped in your tracks, Tomas. This dog, its eyes are back down. It's sniffing around. You still have a success, so you'll be able to get to continue to the farmhouse if that's where you want to go.
He's going to stop right there. And like I said, this will probably, I think I need to make a check for this. He wants to grab one of the charges out of his demo kit. And he wants to, since he's doing this fast, he's going to, with his mechanics tools, I'm sure I'd have like a axle chain or something in there. He wants to try to wrap that around the charge, set a fuse, and throw it at him.
Throw it at the dog.
Actually, I'm aiming at the handler's feet. So I'm gonna take. I
Okay.
want to take a blasting charge, wrap a piece of chain, like a engine chain or something from my mechanics tools around it, set that and throw it at him.
All right, so let's look.
What?
Let's look at the building of this thing. Considering you're out in the middle of the open, you've just looked at some sort of unholy,
Hellhound.
hellhound. What do you think Tomas is going to use to kind of put together this kind of explosive package?
Well, this is what so he has engineering. I know it'll be that skill because explosives falls under that and have a rank in explosives. The question is this more a mental challenge for him, or is it coordination in this storm? And that's what I'm not sure, and I'm hoping you can help me here. Is this him trying to assemble it to figure it out, or is it a coordination, in the dark, in the wind?
I love coordination for this.
Okay.
So I think coordination combined with engineering is great. And then you said you have a focus in
explosives.
So what that's going to do is instead of a crit just being a 1, what is your rank in explosives?
Just 1.
Just 1. So it's going to mean a 1 or a 2 would be a crit success. So that'll be the first thing. Let's go ahead and build that. This is going to be difficulty 2, though. It'd normally be difficulty 1, but because of the storm and everything, I'm going to make it difficulty 2. So you're going to need 2 successes. So what's your target?
12, and I'm going to spend a momentum on this.
All right. So that's going to buy you another D20.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about fortune real quick. So how many fortune do you have left, Tomas?
Oh, gosh.
You started with 3.
Sheet. Check my sheet real fast.
I thought you spent 1 last session.
I did spend 1, so I'm going to spend 1 more. I think this is important. I'll go to 1 fortune.
Yeah, so fortune can be used after the roll. You can use it to re-roll any number of dice.
I'll do that. Hold on.
But before the roll, you can spend a fortune to make 1 die automatically a 1, which is 2 successes by default.
Yeah, I'll do that. I like that.
Okay, so
that makes me happy inside.
Bring yourself down to 1 fortune.
It's done on my sheet.
That's 1 die you don't have to roll. So now just roll your other 2 dice.
Okay.
So on the other 2 dice, you're going to go ahead and anything you roll here is just going to be additional successes. Unless, of course, you roll a 20.
A 20. Okay, let me make sure I get this right. RD20. 10 and a 19.
You're trying.
Woo, baby.
So Tomas, as you are trying to quickly, obviously not make a whole lot of noise, not to make a whole lot of movement, you're able to kind of piece together this thing. You've got it in your hand. I would assume some sort of delay timer of some sort.
Yes. The chemical fuse. And
okay.
Is the fortune like the way I would think the fortune is? Like for a second, he flashes back to like the first time he was at one of the student demonstrations in Prague back in like 38. And the first time, like, these Black Sun versus the normal Nazis showed up and they started busting this up and hauling people off. And he went from a protester to the first time he picked up like a Molotov cocktail and threw it at the Germans. He kind of flashes back to that and it just clicks.
I love the use of that fortune. That's great. That's absolutely great. All right. So now we got to throw the damn thing.
All right.
So this is going to be an opposed roll.
Yep.
So the handler is going to be able to oppose this, but first we got to have you throw it. This is again going to be difficulty 2 because of the storm. So what are we going to use for attribute and skill?
Coordinate. I think it's got to be coordination and fighting.
Yep, I'm good with that.
Okay, so that's going to be a 10. We're out of momentum, but I have a fortune. I have 1 less fortune if I fail this. So I'm just going to do 2d20, and if I have to burn a fortune, I have to burn a fortune, I think.
Okay.
Well, actually, did I get another? So since I had a success and an audit, do I have a momentum back from last turn?
Oh, you do.
Then I will use that. I will use that momentum here. Spend
All right, so let's buy a die. So you're going to roll 3d20.
And I'm rolling it a 10. 50-50 chance on each one.
15, 11, and a 3. That is going to be, you was 10, so it's going to be a success.
Yep.
Difficulty 2, so it's not enough.
Yep. So I'll have to spend my fortune, I think, to re-roll one of them is what I think.
You can re-roll 2 of them, right? You're going to keep your 1 success.
Okay, so I will spend. I'm out of fortune.
Yep.
I'll roll.
And you're going to roll 2d20 now. And you're able to get your second success. All right.
God, I'm skirting that 20.
So do you have the damage written out on
No, I don't know what this is. I have a demolitions kit that talks about having charges and stuff in it, but I don't know.
Gotcha.
Let me look at weapons because I
Do you
have
have
that
the book
bookmarked.
handy? Yeah, let's
I
have
do.
let's have you look at that. So you throw this thing. Now I'm going to give both our hellhound as well as our handler a chance
Okay.
to dodge this out. So the handler is going to be using agility with athletics. So his target is going to be 10. He's going to go ahead and spend a threat.
Now, do they know I was there? Now, my question is, they don't know I was there. Do they see me stand up to throw it or what?
No, but we're going to give them an opportunity to dodge it, right? So they're going to see this object coming to them. So let's go ahead and roll 3d20. And his target number is 10. So he gets one success. Versus you had no extra successes. He had no extra successes. You are the actor, so you win that roll. So he does not dodge it.
So I think I found what this is, by the way.
Okay, let's look at the hellhound. He's going to use his agility along with his athletics. He's also going to be a 10. I'm going to spend a threat with him as well to give him an extra die. Or it could be a her.
It.
And
One hit.
he has got a 17, an 11, and a 4. Same situation. All right. So talk to me, Tomas.
Okay, so we actually did that right. Charges with the demolit do not come with ammo and must be placed and primed. A coordination engineering test.
Look at you.
So I found that's in there, but it's a half-pound standard charge. It's a close range. It is 10 Cthulhu stress, area, stun, intense. 3 per minor.
All right.
I don't know what this means.
All right. So that means the number of dice you're going to roll. So now we move over to D6s. So you're going to roll 10 of these. On a 1, that's going to cause 1 stress of damage. On a 2, it's going to cause 2 stress. On a 3 or a 4, nothing. On a 5 or a 6, those are also successes. And you can activate any of those special abilities. So there was stun, and what was the other one?
Area and stun, it says.
Okay. So yeah, area will allow it to affect more than just them.
Okay.
And then stun will be allowed to stun, but you need a 5 or a 6 to activate one or both of those.
I'm rolling 10 of these. I don't know what salvo intense means. Do you know?
I don't, but let's roll it and then you can quickly look it up. I think there's an index of the attributes.
1, 2,
All
3,
right,
4,
so let's
5.
take a look here. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
2 5s for extra.
Yep, and then 2 5s for extra. So you can activate 2 of those qualities. So this is going to cause 7 stress.
Yep.
And then let's talk about the qualities.
I'm going to activate area and stun then.
Okay, and what does area do?
The attacker hazard hits 1 additional target within close range and initial target for every effect rolled. Secondary targets suffer the attack's full effects. Stun says the attacker hazard leaves the target momentarily unable to act. If a number of effects are rolled that equals or exceeds the target's resilience skill, the target may not take any actions in their next turn.
So let me do a little bit quick bookkeeping here. And let me describe to you what happens. You throw this thing. Go ahead. Right.
Yeah,
You throw this thing. We can see the fuse as it flies through. And at first, I think the handler notices it because the dog is so focused and he yanks back the chain as it's about halfway there. And this dog comes up and you can just see now it's just cold fire coming from these eyes, but you still can't quite make out the form of this. Like where does the shadows end? Where does its body start? And it kind of pulls back on the chain and you can see him trying to move away from where this is headed with the dog. Where it lands is where the handler was just a moment or two ago. And that's very unfortunate for the other 2 Black Sun. And it explodes. The handler goes flying, loses the chain. The dog goes flying, and both of them land hard in the mud. Difficult to get a sense of how much damage, how hurt they both are, but you've knocked both of them over. The 2 Black Sun gentlemen, the one with the rifle, the one with the pistol, where this thing ends up is right at the foot of the rifleman. And as that explodes, we go from 2 Black Sun There's still technically 2 Black Sun, but in 4 different pieces because one of them gets knocked off and one of them just it just explodes and you just see pieces of his body go flying. All three
motherfucker.
All 3 of the ones that are remaining, the Hound, the Handler, and the remaining Black Sun are in the ground, in the mud, and they all are affected by stun, which means each of you get an action.
Awesome.
Okay, seeing as somebody lit the fireworks, it's time to attend the party. So I just stand up with the pistol and start. I know that Tomas isn't in my line of fire. I'm squeezing off shots and yelling, "Come on, boys, let's get them," and making lots of noise coming down, enough that they can hear me, and the bullets almost don't matter.
Okay.
I'm going for suppression fire, and if I accidentally hit one, that's great.
That's just a bonus. So of the 3 targets, where are we shooting?
I don't like that dog.
Okay.
No, normally I'm an animal lover, but this one not so much. So I think I'm going to focus my voice and what I'm doing. Come on, guys, swing around the back and that sort of thing is to distract the Black Sun. The bullets are to keep the dog busy.
Perfect. So again, difficulty 1 becomes a difficulty 2 because of the stormy weather.
Yep.
You're going to roll just the 2 dice. It sounds like you're not too hell-bent on hitting this thing. You just want to make a ton of noise and get some attention.
Nope. That's all I want. Yeah.
Test out our nickname.
And by the way, if you salvo might matter for you right here. So different firearms use ammunition at different rates. Normal range attacks can be made without restriction for ammunition. Assume that a character can keep up the attacks. However, you can decide to fire a salvo, emptying an entire clip into the enemy. To make a salvo attack, expend 1 ammunition before you roll to see if the attack is successful. When you make a salvo range attack, you can choose to add the weapon's effect listed in the salvo entry. In the rare case it lists more than 1, you can choose the type for expend ammo. So if your weapon has a salvo effect, that sounds like it fits for what you wanted to do with the suppression fire. So you basically expend an extra ammo is what you can do to get whatever your weapon's salvo effect is.
Yeah. So does your pistol have a salvo effect?
Actually, it's close quarters and reliable. I'm using a service revolver from World War
Got
I.
it.
Okay.
Sorry.
But, and it's close range. So seeing as I'm coming from a distance, that's why I'm saying I'm not expecting anything other than suppression fire and just add to the mental pressure of, boom, and all of a sudden voices and echoing and lots of gunfire and just I'm squeezing off as just blam, 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 blam.
All right, so this is going to be I always get it mixed up. Coordination is the gun, right? And agility is hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be coordination plus fighting. What's that give you for a target?
I have 0 in fighting, but I have coordinations +2.
Okay, so that +2 is going to give you +2 to the damage, which is fantastic. But what is your actual coordination value? Must be
11.
pretty high. 11, okay. So your target's going to be 11. You're going to need 2 successes to hit this dog.
Okay, and that's 2d20, right?
Correct.
2 and roll.
Oh,
Double 9s.
All right, let's take a look here. 9 and 9, both successes that you hit that. So let's give the
Awesome.
It's also what the Germans are yelling.
Let's also give the dog a chance to dodge. Now his difficulty is only 1, so he's going to have 1 more success than you are. So you start firing the gun, and it's difficult to tell. The dog seems to be reacting to the bullets being fired. You see the mud just shooting up as you're just unloading your clips into the dog itself. But it seems like the only thing that is happening is the dog is standing up. Tomas and Amelia.
Okay.
I'm gonna aim my rifle out the window at the handler.
Okay. So you pull the rifle out, push it out of the window. It's gonna be 2 difficulty for you as well.
Okay. Coordination
and
9, fighting 2 is 11. I have a rank in rifles. Does that make a difference?
So what that'll do is instead of a 1 being a critical, if you get a 1 or a 2 on either one of those. Yeah.
So I am looking for 11 or under. Nice.
Very nice. 2 successes, which is exactly what you need. Let's see how our handler, he has a 10 for his.
Oof.
And fails them both. So what is the damage on this rifle, Amelia?
Damage is 4.
Okay, so you're going to roll 4d6.
And I have a +1 on coordination.
So, all right, so that's going to give you an additional die. So it's going to be 5d6.
Okay.
And we're looking for the same thing. So that, nice roll. Nice roll.
Hi.
So that is 2,
Shake.
3, 4, 5. That's 6 total stress. And you have
Gluten
3
knocked.
potential attributes that you can activate as well.
What does vicious do?
+1 damage.
His
do that.
hand was glowing.
All right, so that's going to be 7 total damage. You're going to activate the vicious.
Yes, please.
All right, so let's do the 7 damage with his. All right, so that's going to be.
It's actually +1 for each effect rolled.
Oh, so that's
Oh.
going to be +3.
Nice.
Very nice. So I'm imagining we're watching this from outside the farmhouse. We just see the barrel of the gun just slowly coming out. And what's crazy about this is there's explosions, there's lights going everywhere, there's body parts flying all over the place. Amelia's slow and steady. Gun comes out the window, and it's unlike Lucky. It's not boom, 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 boom. Holds her breath, shoots, and hits him in the shoulder. And he goes flying. He lets go of the chain, and you see almost electricity jump from his hand to the chain as he falls back. And he falls down back into the mud again after he's just barely stood up just a moment ago. Tomas, you have the last action.
Tomas, just from experience, he knows they're stunned, they're disoriented. He's not going to try to shoot. He's going to kind of run like parallel to them and try to get opposite from where Lucky's shooting at. But he's going to try to do that stealthily, just so they don't know where he's at now.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. So maybe on the far side of where they are to the farmhouse.
Exactly.
All right.
He's
great.
going to use that as cover just to relocate. So I'm thinking stealth and coordination.
Yep. And then it's going to be difficulty 0 because you have the dog is stunned.
Okay. So this is a 12 for this.
Great.
So I'm going to roll 2. I'm going to bank 2 momentum.
Yep, that's 2 extra momentum. You take off, taking full advantage of the fact that all of this explosion and chaos is going. You see this guy getting hit in the shoulder from, you assume it's Amelia because the shot came from the farmhouse. And you take off and you're able to get behind. There's some large barrels that you're able to kind of get behind now. So the house is now between you and the chaos. Ahead of you is the barn. You can see the tail end of the barn, the far end of the barn. Behind you is where you came from. Lucky's unloaded. So now we're going to go into regular initiative, and it's alternating. I'm going to let the PCs go first. So any of the 3 of you can go, and then we've got 1 black sun, 1 handler, and 1 dog. So who wants to take the first action?
Have I got any cover whatsoever? Like I was coming down the slope towards the farmhouse is how I saw it, of the woods.
Yeah,
behind a
I mean,
tree to
there's going to be
reload.
bushes and stuff there. So yeah, we can have cover there, Mike.
Okay, I'm just going to take mild cover and reload the gun because I pretty much emptied it.
All right, so you slide down the hill. You take an action to find that cover. You're reloading the gun. I'm going to have the dog go. So the first thing that the dog is going to do is try to zero in on one of you. So give me just a second. All right, his target number is going to be 10. He's going to spend a threat to gain a die. He's going to need 2 successes, which he gets. So I'm imagining the dog comes up, stands up, sees the handler go flying, realizes the chain is loose, looks around, hears the breaking, hears you going into cover, Lucky, and just starts running towards you. Okay. Tomas,
Just what
Amelia.
I planned.
I am very sorry. I apologize.
No, this is what I stood up and drew fire. This is what I was doing. I can't shoot for shit. You guys are in charge of killing. I'm in charge of just
Distraction.
The one thing I will say, Lucky, is this thing, as you get it behind the cover and you see this thing stand up, as it stood up, you could see some red light emissions coming from the side of its body. This would have been the side of the of this thing that was facing where the explosions happened. And as this thing starts charging towards you, you notice darkness forming over that escaping light.
like it's healing.
Not good.
Next.
Tomas is kind of taking his time to aim carefully. So if Amelia would go faster, he knows not to rush. So
Okay. Handler's on the ground. How about the other Black Sun guy?
The other Black Sun guy has got his pistol out. He does not know where to go. He's standing. He's out in the middle of nowhere. He's kind of got his gun out. He has not figured out where your shot came from. He's still just completely dazed, just now getting himself up from the mud. So he's definitely your easiest shot. And
Basically, oh, look, a target.
yes. And the dog is now outside of your line of vision from where you are, Amelia. So you kind of see him leave your field of vision. Or
All right.
leave your field of vision.
Let's shoot the easiest target.
All right. So 2 difficulty.
Okay.
Coordination and fighting.
Yep.
and you can do a minor action to aim, Victoria, Amelia.
Oh, can
Which
I?
lets you re-roll 1d20 when you make the attack this turn. So
Okay,
you have a minor
do
and a
that,
major
yeah.
action. So you can
Let's
aim
do
for
it.
your minor and then fire.
Sounds
Perfect. So you will get a reroll.
good. Okay. Hi, Wednesday.
Patrick, I appreciate you having that handy, man.
No problem.
All right.
Do you have a focus in fighting?
I have rifles.
So that's a crit because you rolled a 2.
Yep.
Nice.
So that is a 2 and a 13. And what
Yes.
was your target? Was a 13 or your target?
My
was
target
12?
was 11.
Target was 11. All right. So that crit is going to count as 2 successes, which is what
Okay.
you needed. So that's a hit. Let's see if he can avoid it. He also gets 1 success. You are tied because you're the actor. You get to hit him. So talk to me about the damage.
Damage is 4 plus 1 again, so 5.
Okay.
What do we got? Ah,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 with 2 effects. Is there any of those
Yes.
effects you want to use?
can I use vicious again?
You sure can. So that's going to be 4 damage total, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. So
Yep.
you fire and you hit him. You hit him square in the chest, and you can see him like take the hit. So he goes back. It does not knock him down. And he's not reacting to it the way that like you saw with the handler, right? So you're not seeing him take the bullet. You're not seeing the blood coming out and going. So it appears that some of it was absorbed. And though you did hurt him, it did not knock him down. All right. Dog went. The handler is going to go ahead and get up this turn, and he's going to chase after the dog. So he's headed towards Lucky as well. Tomas?
All right. Tomas is going to who's still in his line? Is the handler or the dog still in his line of sight?
Only the dog is in the line of sight now. So it's come back into your line of sight. So from where you were
Okay.
blocking yourself from all of that. But now that
Yep.
the dog is headed towards Lucky, it's within your line of sight.
So he's going to very calmly lift up his high standard HDM pistol. It has close quarters and subtle. So that just means you have to make an observation check to find me when I shoot with this.
Yeah, this is definitely not close quarters. So neither of those are going to matter.
Yep. Okay. So then I will just aim and shoot at the dog.
All right. So you'll get a reroll. You've got 2 momentum. You're going to need 2 successes because of the stormy weather.
Okay. So it will be coordination and fighting,
Mm-hmm.
which will be a 10 for me.
Okay.
And the +1 is only my damage, so I will spend 1 momentum on this.
All right. That brings you guys down to 1 momentum total. You're going to roll 3 20-sided dice, which
And I have
because
1
of the
reroll.
aim, you'll be able to reroll 1 of them.
Okay.
You need 2 successes. And I'm
I
seeing
have 1 success.
1 success. Do you want to reroll 1 of those dice with your aim?
I'm going to reroll 1 of those.
Do a 1d20.
Shit.
Oh!
Ow.
We went from 2 to 20. All right, so I'm going to have this empty your clip, Tomas, so you're going to be out of bullets.
Okay.
You fire, the bullets go flying. This dog does not look at you, does not care about you, and in no way does it seem that it's any way affected by this.
You were very, very subtle.
So, with those gunshots, the Black Sun Trooper that just got hit by the bullets, he's going to attempt to hit Amelia. So he's going to need 3 successes. He's going to need because of the cover that Amelia has. So that's another truth that Amelia now has is that cover. So he is going to aim. And his target number is going to be 11. So he does have rifles. All right, 1 success is not going to do it. So Amelia, you can see him aiming his pistol at you. He just starts firing. You see the bullets in the wood, just the shrapnel of the wood just starts going off. You're able to duck away from it, not at all hit by this thing whatsoever. That brings us back to the top, which means 1 of the 3 of you get to go.
How far away is Puppy?
Puppy will be at you this turn.
This is a close quarters gun. Can I, again, not knowing the rules 100%, reserve action till it's almost point blank?
You can't.
Well, so you get to determine the order, Mike. So you can just have somebody else go first, and you can just wait, and go after this dog goes.
Okay. Well, unless the dog goes, I want it when he's point blank, but not finished gnawing my left arm off.
Gotcha. No.
So what you could do, Lucky, is you could minor action aim.
That's
your
what I was
major
about
action
to say was.
And your
minor
major action
action.
can be ready.
Yeah.
Ready lets you choose another major action to take as a reaction to something else. When the trigger event occurs, you temporarily interrupt the current character's turn to resolve your readied major action.
Perfect.
That
Then
is what I'm
resume
doing. Is
dismissal.
bracing for fire. I don't know if the Weaver stance was invented then, but that's pretty much what I'm going for.
So let's have the dog attacking you. So his minor action is going to be getting to you. That's going to have him attacking, which means that you get to interrupt him.
Yep. And again, just open fire with old reliable.
Now, with that, what does that close quarters give you when we activate that?
I think it just says close
You
quarters.
don't. I don't think you take a penalty, is what it is.
I think you don't get a short range penalty, which is good. So normally your difficulty would go up because of close range. In this case, it does not. So you're just going to be just difficulty 1.
Okay, and 2d20.
Yep. Coordination fighting. What's your target number?
I think we said it was 11 for coordination and no fighting bonuses or anything like that. Missed completely. Hit all the shadows.
Oh no.
Oh, you sure did. You sure did. An 18 and a 14. So this thing fires. Now this thing is going to attack you. It's going to attack you using agility and fighting. Target is going to be 14.
Oh, somebody
right.
pointed out he aimed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You get to re-roll 1. Yeah.
Murky Buttercup, steam powder scoundrel.
So 60's not going to do it. You're getting it out of your system though, Mike, which is good. All right. So let's go ahead and have our friend attack. He's going to roll 2d20. His target is going to be agility plus fighting. It's going to be 14.
Whoa.
Dang.
All right. He has 1 success. So now you get the opportunity to dodge this using your agility and athletics.
Agility and athletics. Let's take a look at that. Agility is a 7, and athletics I actually have 2 ranks in.
All right.
So that would make it a 9.
Yep. That's going to be a 9. You're going to need 2 successes to beat him. 1 success is just a tie.
A tie would go to. Oh, and he's the actor
He's
in
the
this
actor,
case.
yep.
I get it. Okay. Six and 9.
That's 2 successes.
Good
2
job.
success. Blam,
So
blam, blam, blam.
I want you, Lucky, I want you to walk me through this whole thing. This dog is coming towards you. Somehow, some way, you're able to keep it together enough to sit there and aim that gun and hold that gun as this demon is charging towards you. And as soon as it gets close enough, you open fire. You
And
miss. And then what
And then
happens?
I just go straight, just straight down. And assuming it's about to leap, I'm hoping it goes, like rather than trying to dodge left or right, I just go down and let it go right over me.
And this thing is just coming at you like this, and you've got that bush right where you found the cover, and it just leaps up, and you just whoop, and it just flies over. And as you look up, you're now close enough as this thing is leaping over you, Lucky, that you could just extend your hand and scratch his little belly if you wanted to, right? You don't. But
No, I
But you good.
what's crazy is you thought your inability to kind of discern the outline, the form of this thing was a function of the rain, maybe a really dark coat. But this thing is literally in arm's reach, and the edges still seem fuzzy.
Still made a shadow.
This thing just leaps right over, and you hear it just land behind you in the mud and the splashing of the mud itself.
Okay, when it was moving faster than a man?
Oh, no question.
Okay, good.
No question. Tomas and Amelia.
Momentum is a thing. Over to you guys.
I think let's keep the order before Amelia. You're
Sure.
free to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot back.
Okay.
How very dare that man shoot at me?
I'm surprised he even saw you.
Whoops. No, I do not want to add. There we go.
All right. So that's going to be 1 success. We're going to need 2 because of the stormy weather. I'm going to assume that you aimed.
Yes, I should have said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. So let's re-roll 1. And what's our target on this?
11.
All right. So we need this one to be an 11 or lower to hit. That's more than just an
Sweet.
11 or other. That's 3 successes. So it's 1 success in excess. So let's go ahead and add that momentum. But we need to keep in mind that you have 1 additional success. So he now needs, you have 3 successes. He needs 4 successes, which he's not going to get. Well, that's not true. He can roll 2
You
ones.
might. Yeah.
Which
Oh, I
he
saw
does.
1 for a
does.
second.
I
I saw
did
1
too.
for a second. I was like, dang it, Craig.
So you hit him, Victoria. Let's go ahead and do the damage. Did you have any bonuses on the damage?
I have the +1 and coordination.
All right, so let's add that. It's going to be an additional D6,
Yep.
which goes from 4 to 5 for you, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's do 5d6. That's a lot of 2s.
1, 2.
That's 4 total. 4 total damage.
Nice.
We're going to do that less his. All right, you're going to kill him. So walk me through it. Bam, bam, bam. The shards of the wood are just flying. Gun comes back out.
Yes, this has greatly upset Amelia that he would have the audacity to fire back. So this time she just, very carefully aims at his head.
And just right through the
And-
eyes. Just, and we can see the entry and the exit before the head even moves. And then he falls back dead. So we've got just the handler and the dog. The handler is going to be the only one that can act now. And the handler is behind the dog, and he is now at Lucky. So he's going to try to shoot you, but he's going to be at a difficulty 2. And he has got a Luger, his agility or his coordination plus fighting. He's going to need a 10. All right. So he got a crit and a 10. So he's got 3 successes. Mike, we're going to need an agility coordination from you.
That was agility is 7, coordination +2, so that means I need a 9.
Okay. So you have 2 momentum if you want to add some dice to this.
I think I'll add 1 die.
Okay.
Doubt it's going to work, but only 1 success, so no, I don't dodge it.
All right. So he is going to go ahead and hit you. He does not get to activate any of his gun, any of his extras. 46.
Ooh.
That is going to be 1-2 damage. Do you have any resistance or armor?
Nope. No.
Okay. So go ahead and take 2 stress for me.
Okay.
So he's going to shoot you. He's going to pop you in the arm, just a flesh wound. Hit you along the arm itself. All right. Who has not acted?
Tomas has not.
Okay.
So I can probably see the handler and the dog now, I'm assuming.
Correct. And the handler's got like his back to you as he's kind of firing into the bushes where Lucky was.
Shoot.
So I will once again. I can't. It doesn't look like there's a reload mechanic from what I see. It just like looks I'm down one of the 3 ammo I started with, probably.
Yeah,
right?
let's just make that a fast action.
Okay. So
your
then
quick
I will aim and I will try to just put a round right to that handler's back again.
Okay. We're gonna need 2 successes.
Okay. I am
Difficulty
at a 10.
2.
I have a reroll. I'm not going to spend that last momentum right now. I'm going to let Lucky seems like he's in trouble. Let's just go with this with the reroll. 10, and I'm going to reroll the 15.
Yep.
Come on. Nope.
All right. So you fire, not able to hit him. He doesn't need to do a dodge. Dog is going to take another swipe at you, Lucky.
Yep.
All right. So his fighting plus coordinate, or no, it's agility, right? So 14. All right, just 1 success. You just need 2 successes.
Okay, so let's do 1, 2.
That is 1 success. So he is
Yep.
going to hit you. Patrick, can you look up persistent for me?
Yes. That a weapon effect?
Yep.
So persistent, the attacker hazard has a lingering effect. If one or more effects are rolled, the target suffers X stress at the start of the affected character's turn for the rounds equal to the number of effects rolled.
Got it.
He tore my shirt.
He did. So I'm imagining you're on the ground, Lucky, and this thing just turns around, comes down, and just its paw comes down to hit you. And literally, as you're rolling, he takes the collar of your shirt under his paw and just like straight Sylvester Stallone, your shirt gets ripped in half and just tears it with you, and you're able to roll away as this happens.
Okay, now I just want to point out one thing that suddenly occurs to me is dogs normally attack by biting. This thing just swung a paw at me. This is not a Saint Bernard. I was going to ask him for a drink and everything.
All right, so that takes care of the dog, and who's next?
I think that's the end of that round. Or are we
Yeah,
back into
there's
the
2 black
cycle?
sun left. Yeah, so there's 2 black sun. They've gone and 3 of us. So I think we're back at the top.
Yeah, we're back at the top of the round, and the dog is gone, so it's going to be one of yours turns.
I think let's let Lucky go, see what he can do.
Well, I think I emptied the clip again, so I'm out of guns. I am going to... It swung right past me, barely missed me. I've got this toolkit that I've been carrying. I'm just going to whap it over the head with my mechanics tools, because these guns are just not working for me, and I am a mechanic, damn it.
All right, let's do an agility plus fighting.
Well,
It's
that's
my
the same
perks.
roll.
I
9.
don't know you.
And you only need 1 success, which is good.
Okay, so 2d20. Whoops. Oh, okay.
So what you can do, Mike, there, you got it.
Yep.
All right. So you swing at this thing and you're short. You just missed. You just did not gauge where he was.
Yep.
As you just kind of take the satchel of tools and you try to whack him with it. I'm gonna have the. See, we've killed both Black Sun, so all we've got is the handler left as well as our dog.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and have the handler take a shot at you. He's going to be at an extra difficulty, so he's going to be at a 3 difficulty because of he's close quarters and his gun doesn't have close quarters. He'll spend a threat though. I'm down to 3 threat. He's going to need 3 successes. He's only got 2. Let's say that he aimed though.
Yeah.
So let's roll one of them.
Same number.
17 to a 17.
Nice.
So you've got Lucky's in a bad way. So he's got the dog tearing his shirt. He swings the satchel. As he's swinging the satchel, there's bullets flying into the mud, left and to the left and to the right of him. Tomas and Amelia. Amelia, right now you have nobody in your line of sight from the window where you are.
Did I see which way the dog ran?
You did.
I'm gonna go see if there's windows on that side of the building.
There are.
Cool. Let's go set up over there.
Okay. So you won't be able to aim, but I'll let you fire at the dog.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
So it'll be 2 difficulty.
Okay. On 11s. Nope.
Uh-oh.
You fire. And the bullet comes close. And as this thing is just attacking Lucky and it's tearing at the shirt, you see kind of the claw come up and you see Lucky's shirt getting like torn with it as it kind of goes through the bushes and stuff like this. The bullet flies and just eyes fire, looking directly at you, Victoria. I'm going to use that crit to pick a new target for our dog.
Cool.
Well, that's
All right.
better than everybody
welcome.
missing. That's better than everybody missing me, except
So the
for
dog
my
is
allies.
gone. The handler is gone. So we're back to Tomas.
Okay, Tomas will he sees the trouble. He sees Lucky down. He's just gonna, as he aims, it should be a free action. He's just gonna yell, "Hey, you black-jacketed," something insulting to Germans. My creativity failed me right now.
Are you shooting at the handler?
Yes, and I'm still gonna aim, and the handler's got his back to me. But as I yell, I'm going to, because I'm assuming he wasn't hearing me with the subtle pistol, but I'm gonna yell now, and I'm gonna aim and fire at him again.
Perfect.
So
So 2 successes, but you'll get a reroll.
I'm gonna yell something insulting about the fear.
What was your target?
Nope. 10. So the reroll's not gonna matter.
Nope. So it will matter. Reroll one of them and roll a 1.
That's true.
Son of a gun.
Very good.
It always matters.
It always matters. You're
Perfect.
right.
All right, let's see if he can avoid the shot. His target is 10. He is going to have to tie you, which he does not. Let's roll some damage.
Okay, so my HDM is 3. With a vicious, nope, it's not vicious. That's only on the salvo, so I don't get that here. So it is just 3. So let me roll 3d6. Okay.
That's going to be 5, plus you get a special effect.
I don't have any on this one
All right.
because so I don't have any on my gun. So it's just close quarters and hidden. So yep, we're good.
All right. So you're going to get through his armor and you're going to kill him.
Whew.
So to walk me through that is you yell at him. He turns as
And I'm
you're
just
yelling
assuming-
and you squeeze the trigger.
Yeah, I think it just goes right between his eyes.
You guys
It
got to
just
think
drops
about
him.
shooting him right between the eyes, don't you? So he goes down, he falls into the bushes, and Lucky, you see the dog turning its attention away from you, and then the body of this handler just falls right between you and the dog.
Thwack.
Okay, this dog is going to charge you, Amelia.
Okay.
And I want
Keep
him
in
to
mind
take
I'm inside a house.
Yeah, I want him to take a swipe at you, but you're going to get benefit of the cover of being inside the house. What I'm trying to think of, I think it's going to be a straight roll, but he's going to need 2 successes. So he's going to be the same thing. He's going to be a 14, which he gets. And let me see his fighting. His fighting is hand-to-hand combat. So that's actually going to be 3 successes. So it's going to be 1 over what he needed. Let's do a coordination and agility, or I'm sorry, agility athletics.
10 to 12.
12 total.
Yep.
We need somehow to come up with 3
Whoops.
successes. You've got a momentum.
Stop. There we go. Yeah, let's use it.
All right. So roll 3 d20s. We need 4 successes. All right.
Well, that was 3.
Fails. So let's take a look here on his roll. He's now going to do damage, which is going to be 4 of these. 1, 2. This is going to be a total of 4 damage. What is your armor?
Okay.
Don't think you have any,
I don't
did you?
have any armor.
Okay, so
No.
take 4 stress.
Okay.
And
My
then
my resilience doesn't matter at all.
no, that's
does
going to
it?
be for mental
Okay.
attacks. Yep.
Okay.
So he's got 2 special effects. So for 2 more rounds, you're going to take the same damage. So you're going to take 4 stress. And what is happening now is his
What?
claw. Go ahead.
What happens when I hit 0 stress?
You take an injury. And then if you take more stress, you take another injury. If you get 3 injuries, you're out of the scene.
Okay.
So his claw comes through before you're able to kind of retract back. In fact, I'm almost imagining you thought you had room, and just this claw comes through and it comes right across your torso, Amelia, and it cuts and it burns, but not in the way just a cut would burn. It burns like fire burns as it's coming through. And as you're looking down, you're seeing just the singe of where these claws came across and broke your flesh. Who's next?
I think we're back to top of round again.
Okay.
Like the top around. So Lucky, you want to keep it up? Keep the order?
Yeah, but my 2 actions, I can't see that he got Amelia that bad. Are reload again because I keep emptying the damn gun.
Yep.
And there was sparks from the handler's hand when he let go of the chain. I want to check that arm and hand to see if there's anything, like whether he has any devices or something.
So you roll over, Lucky, and you look on him, and he has got some sort of metal band. It's a thick band on his wrist, and there's designs that are etched into this band, and you can see it's broken now. You can see where that chain was attached to this band, and it's now broken. So imagine like a half a link that's broken on this thing, and it's warm to the touch.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. Okay, so yeah, reload, search him for information, and then look up and try to see what's going on, where the dog went, because I find it hard to believe that he just left me there without a shirt.
And he's not going to be able to fit through this window. So you can see that the dog's got really kind of his front half in the window, and you can just, you can see it moving. You can see its legs trying to scratch up, but it's now kind of stuck halfway into the window. It's not stuck like can't move, but you can tell that it can't continue on through the window. It's bigger than the window itself.
Does that make him slightly stationary for the next person to shoot at him?
Yeah, I wouldn't lower the difficulty though, again, because of the stormy weather. But if someone were going to go in and say use a close combat weapon, I would consider lowering the difficulty.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Just for close combat real fast, there's something weird in the book, and I'll let you rule on this real fast, Craig.
Yep.
So under attacks, it says melee attempt an agility plus fighting test to make the attack. But then I'm looking at attributes. It says brawn is used to make melee attacks, not agility. And brawn adds bonus challenge die to melee attacks as well.
So the way I understand that is one is the bonus versus the test. So the test is the agility plus fighting, but
Okay.
but a higher brawn adds bonus dice to your melee attack. So it's not
Gotcha.
used in the,
Because it says brawn is used to make melee attacks.
yeah, that's how I
That's
understand it.
interesting.
I'd
Okay,
have to look
that's
at it a little
interesting.
bit more.
Yeah, that's fine. Since it was coming up a little bit, I just noticed that. All right. Interesting.
All right, who's next?
It's one of you
I
two.
Oh, that's right. Well, no, the dog hasn't gone yet, right? So, Lucky, you went. You're searching. You haven't fired yet, though. Did you want to fire?
So is it going to
Yeah,
get 2 attacks on
you
Victoria before she goes at it?
You're going to be able. Did you want to do anything? So you notice the wristband. You've got your gun out, but you still have an action.
You said that the wristband was warm, like it's doing something or operating, like warmer than just metal conducting body heat.
Yeah, warmer than metal conducting body heat. Yeah.
Is there an obvious clasp or way to remove it?
On the inside of the wrist, you can see 2 clasps.
I unclasp it and open it to see anything happen.
Nope. But
Okay.
it is off of him.
Okay, remove it from him. He's dead. Like I said, I think that pretty much between reloading and doing that, I think that's my action. I don't think I get a shot at that.
I agree. The dog is going to try to get free. So let me quickly look and see how he wants to do that. He's going to do that with his brawn plus athletics. He's going to have a target 12. It's going to be difficulty 1. Which he does make. So we see the dog for his action just able to pull back, put his legs up against the side of the wall and just pull back and leap back out. So he's now outside of the house. Who's next? Tomas and Amelia.
Let's Amelia get the dog on her, so let's let her go.
I
She
would
wants to.
basically just back away from the window. So like if you want to go for it.
Okay. Then Tomas will just use his minor action to move till he can see the dog, and he'll shoot at it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I don't get an aim bonus.
Nope, 2 difficulty.
Oops. Let's see what I get. Nope. 1 hit. No rerolls. Miss
All right.
away.
Amelia?
Yeah, I'm just gonna back away from the window and
Could she put a shot, like back up and put one shot, like a hip shot?
She's not going to be able to see it because the dog extracted himself at
Yeah.
this point and is below where the window is.
Oh, okay.
Now, if Amelia wanted to stand, I would up the difficulty because shooting through the window, technically the dog would be having cover at this point. Amelia, what's your stress situation?
well, my total stress is 9.
Okay, so you're down to 5, right? Because you took
Yeah,
the
but
4
I'm
stress, and then you're going to
gonna
be down to
be
1 at
taking
the end of
another.
this
Yep.
action. Yep. You're just going to hide.
Yeah.
And this and you're, like I said, that the chest is burning. So go ahead and drop that down to 1 stress. Tomas,
Okay.
or did you already
I guess
go this turn?
I already went this turn. I missed,
Okay,
remember?
so we're back up to the top.
Yep.
So any of the 3 of you can go.
I mean, I know what Tomas is going to do. He's going to aim and shoot again.
Go for it.
Let's do it. See if we can kill this dog. Let's see. Come on, show me some good rolls. I'm going to re-roll the 12.
Okay, for the aim,
50-50. 2 hits.
2 hits. That's exactly what you needed. Needs a target 12 or 10 to dodge. He gets 2 successes on the tie. You win. Let's go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. So that will be just 4 damage for me.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus his armor. All right. You hit him. He does not seem at all phased. You do see it break whatever skin is on him. You see a blink of
Yep.
of red energy where the bullet hits, and almost a half a second later, you see it go away.
Ugh. We need bigger guns, guys.
He is going to try to go for you, Tomas. So he's going to head towards you and give you a swipe.
Does he need to make a since my gun was subtle? Does he need to make a thing to hear me to notice I? Well, I guess I shot him. So never mind. You're right. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Oh.
All right. So it's going to be 2 successes.
Okay, and I dodge with coordination and
I think I should do it. Agility and
agility. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agility and athletics.
Agility and athletics. Oh, ooh, not good. This is not where he wants to be. So I'm gonna roll 2, and I've got to get 7s.
Okay. That's 2 successes. Now he also, let's see, did he get?
Was that
He
a
also
one?
got 2 successes, so that's
He
a
did.
tie.
Well, I had a
Or
1.
no,
in
you
there,
got
though.
3 successes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 1 in there.
So you dodge it. So he comes at you, charges at you, lunging with its claw, and step to the side.
No, he's more like, oh! Just backs up real fast.
All right.
Suddenly, he looks like the young kid he actually is for a second.
All right. Lucky and Amelia.
Okay, I am going to sprint not towards the house, not the barn, the dairy truck. Because I'm lousy with guns, but man, I can drive a truck.
What are you doing with the bracelet?
Pocket.
Okay.
Just carrying, not putting it on. I don't want to find out that I'm now running around with puppies.
All right.
But I am bringing the bracelet with me, but I'm just high barrel. This is not undercover. This is me just.
So you sprint and you start heading towards the thing, and you get to the door, and you can see exactly as Aramis described. You can see this huge milk truck, old milk truck, and it's the back of it is towards you. You look down, you can see that there's hay covering over there. He was very specific. He said the bottom left-hand tire.
Yep.
So let's have you at there. Amelia, you don't see this. Tomas, you do. This thing charges past you. You just step away.
Yeah.
By sheer luck, your fear saved you as you pulled
Exactly.
away. And out of the left corner of your eye, you can see Lucky headed towards the barn. And by the time Lucky gets to the barn, you hear a yelp come from the dog. And you can see the dog just get pulled towards the barn. All right. So, Amelia. Is there anything you want to do before we take our injury?
Could she do first aid on herself? Try to lessen the burn?
I don't have any medicine skill.
You're there, you're cut. You can hear all kinds of action outside. And just to be clear, Victoria, you're not necessarily going to get knocked out here. What's going to happen is we're going to talk about what injury you're going to take, and it's going to be something that we add. It'll be a new truth for Amelia, right, until it gets treated. And what it will do is it'll just increase your potential crit range. So now a 19 and a 20 will be crit fails for you.
Okay.
So I don't want you to
not
think that
dead
this is
yet.
not going to knock you out.
Do I have to have a medicine skill to probably?
And we can have you, but let's do it narrative, right? So I would imagine you're grabbing something, maybe the tablecloth, and just pulling it on you, and it's not bleeding,
Okay.
right? It's burning. So it's almost like someone just took, a fire poker, 3 fire pokers, and just scratched it across your torso. And you take that and you put it on your. What do you think is a good injury? So, let's say a burned flesh. Let's write that down as an injury on your sheet. and then you're going to be at 0 stress. So until you get treated, you're not going to want to take any more stress because that'll result in another injury. Tomas, you see this thing yelp and it's almost like the chain got yanked and yanked this dog towards the barn.
He's very confused, but he also doesn't know that I know, like I do, that Lucky has the amulet. So he knows, he sees something happening, but he doesn't have the information to put it together.
Sure.
So he also saw his gun do nothing to it. So he's going to just quickly look around for one of the Black Sun corpses, and he's going to move to that with his minor action and see if they have a larger gun than his handgun.
Sure.
And
So
I'll use my major to pick it up. If he does.
Got it. All right. So you're going to have your choice here. Give me just 1 second. Let me see what rifle he has. I should have had this open, so I apologize. Do you have the weapons handy there?
I can swing back there, yes. And
Yeah.
in fact, I even have I think a lot of the guys are even in the back of this too.
Let's take a look here. Hold on 1 second.
It's vehicles, universal carriers. Got these marked. Yeah, here we go. So I've got submachines, machine guns, and rifles and assault rifles.
Yes. Okay. All right. So he has an assault rifle. So you can go ahead and pick up that assault rifle, Tomas.
So a Sturmwürger.
Yep.
Okay. So I pick up a Sturmwürger. Sturmwürger 44.
Done.
Nice. Cool.
Lucky?
I'm not worried about that trap door or the hay. I just want to get in behind the driver's seat and get this beast moving, and then I'm turning it around and trying to find the dog. I'm looking for a speed bump.
So you get in there, keys, let's say in the visor.
I would have asked where the keys were.
I know you would have. Yeah. So you got the keys. You put it in there. It's not turning over. So, Tomas, you're facing this wolf or this beast or whatever it is, and it immediately tries to lunge for you again, and it again gets yanked back towards the barn as it does it. So this thing has now been yanked so hard that it's kind of fallen to its back.
Okay. All right. So it's our turns again?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to try to shoot him with the Sturmwürger. It is unreliable, so it increases the difficulties by 1.
Okay.
Yep. Early assault rifles. So it's going to be, I guess, 11s. I will aim, and I need 11s, but
3 difficulty.
I got to reroll. 3 difficulty.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. So I need 3. So I'm rolling 2. So I'm going to have to. I can't do this.
You want to give me? Sure, you can. Remember, a one gives you.
Oh, that's right.
2 successes.
Yep.
Are you saying I have a chance?
1 and a 2.
Wow. 3 successes.
Okay.
It's going to try to dodge.
On its back.
It does not. Let's roll the damage. What's the damage on this thing?
It is 5. Okay. 5 damage.
All right. Let's throw 5d6. 1, 2, 3 damage with 2 specials. Anything special on this?
Stun.
Okay. You want to activate that stun?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I think I have 2, since I have 2 of them, so I think stun stacks. Let me look at this real fast.
So does the last 2 rounds?
That's what I think, but let me double check this because there's a lot going on. So if the number of effects rolled are that, so if the number of effects are rolled that equals or exceeds the target's resilience skill, the target may not take any actions in their next turn.
Got it. Let me check his resilience. Hold on. And you rolled 2 and it has to exceed it?
Yes.
He has a resilience of 2.
Yeah, it equals or exceeds. Equals
Oh,
or
equal. So
exceeds.
it does stop him from acting. So he's going to lose an action.
Yep. May not take any actions in their next turn.
Amelia, you feel the burn start to lessen. The immediate stinging pain is not there. You're at your feet. You still hear the gunfire happening outside.
Sorry, cats.
That's okay.
How big is this window? Like, could I conceivably climb through it?
Yeah, you could fit through it. This beast couldn't, but you could.
All right, let's
And-
go back outside.
And
You
there's
wanna
pretty
go-
much no glass left in it.
You want to go? So you want to go outside it on the side of where the beast was, or do you want to go to one of the back windows towards the barn?
Can I see the dog from this window?
You can.
I can. Not that one then.
Okay. You want to go out the back?
Out the back, yeah.
All right, and if you want, you can go through the door, right? Because remember,
Yeah,
there's
at
a
that
back
point,
door.
I might as well go through the door.
So you
at
hit
that
the
point.
wood. The wood goes flying up and flies to the side. You push your way through. You see Lucky entering the barn. Tomas, or no, Lucky. This
Yep.
thing ain't starting.
Okay, I have heavy vehicles and mechanical engineering and all of that. This is my life. Is
Mhm.
it dead battery? Is it flooded engine? Is it out of gas? Like, what kind of click am I getting?
So it's not turning over,
Yeah.
but we can do a roll. So what do you want to roll to diagnose what's going on here?
I've got a 4 in engineering, mechanical engineering,
And then attribute, reason.
and yeah, go with reason, which is a 9.
So it's gonna be a 13, 1 difficulty.
Okay. So go to this. Boom, boom. It's a dead truck.
So I'm not imagining a situation where Lucky wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
What I am imagining is it could be 5 things.
And none
any-
of them can be solved from the driver's seat.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
and it's out, and like I'm focused on getting this vehicle rolling for the future reason and the fact that this is the biggest killing machine I know of in the area. So hood up, and I'm sticking my head under the hood. That's my action this turn.
Perfect. Tomas?
So Tomas could kind of tell that like he got very lucky with that assault rifle. So he's gonna swing it over his shoulder, and he's gonna kind of step towards it, staying out. He can tell this thing's like stuck for some reason. He has no idea why. He doesn't know about Lucky and the bracelet. So he's just gonna take his pistol back out. He's gonna aim very carefully, and he's gonna shoot back with a pistol. He could tell like that assault rifle. He got way too lucky that turn.
Got it. So you're
Like
gonna,
it just bucked like crazy in his hand, and somehow the bullets hit. But he's like, nope, I don't know what I'm doing with this.
all right, so you're shooting, or you're just heading towards the barn? I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna shoot it. So I'm just gonna take my feet apart and just aim with my pistol again, because I
Got
can
it.
tell that assault rifle is not gonna work.
Yep. So let's do 2 difficulty.
Yep, 2 difficulty. I need 10s. I did aim, so I'll get a reroll.
And a 1
Okay.
again.
You are a 1 machine.
After that
That's
20,
gonna
man.
be
Okay.
That's gonna be 3 successes, which he has to beat.
Okay.
He's stunned. Can he even dodge?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. He doesn't dodge either way. So let's roll the damage.
Okay. Do I get a momentum since I had 3 and I needed 2 that time?
That's correct.
Okay. Good to know. So 4 damage.
So it's gonna be 5 all day.
Yep.
All right, similar type situation. Several bullets go into him. Tomas, you see it damage. You see this beast reacting, and incidentally, as its mouth is opening, you're seeing that red fire coming from inside it. But it almost seems like within seconds that whatever this skin or hide this thing is it's closing up around these wounds very, very quickly.
Oh shit.
Amelia, you get to the barn.
Yeah. Do I see Lucky there?
You do. You see Lucky. You see the hood open, and you see actually, technically, you see half of Lucky because half of him is down inside the engine of this truck.
And you might hear Tomas yelling, "Bullets aren't working! Bullets aren't working! Bullets are the working!"
You don't say.
And I'm having you go through the side door, Amelia. So you went through the side door. The front bar doors are about half open.
Okay.
There's a
I
hayloft
guess-
if you want to take a nap.
Just sleep it off. No, I'd probably ask Lucky if there's like anything I can do to help.
When I yell now, turn her over.
Thank you. I like this plan.
All right, so you're gonna hop in the driver's seat.
Yes.
All right,
I got
Tomas.
a bad vision of where this is going, but I
Tomas, last action before the dog goes.
I'm just gonna keep firing at it just to keep its attention because I can see them past it in the garage in there. So I'm just gonna keep firing at it to keep its attention.
All right, and then Lucky, we're gonna have another diagnostic roll for you after this. So
Yep.
Tomas, let's fire.
Aim, fire. Reroll 1.
worse.
All right, so one success, you're not going to hit it. Are you doing any type of movement? Or are you just standing and shooting at this point, Tomas?
I'm standing. If I'm like keeping its focus on it, I can tell it can't get to me.
Okay.
But I'm just in front of it, just standing, just blasting, be like, "Come on!" you
So it's getting hit by some of the bullets. You're missing with some of the other bullets. Once this thing kind of gets its four-legs under it, you see it beelining it for the barn. All right,
Shit.
Lucky.
Come on, I'm a mechanic, damn it.
You only need one success, my friend.
No.
So someone has snipped the battery. Not going to need to roll for it. You can just reconnect it.
Oh.
The problem is that maybe this thing is going to move 4 or 5 feet because you're pretty much sure it's out of gas. So that's going to be your crit fail. So you're not going to be able to drive this thing out of here, but you will be able to move it.
Okay.
So we'll have you fix the wires this turn.
Yep.
Yelling to
fixing
Amelia to turn the key.
Yeah. Start her up. Roll it.
It starts. Tomas, you can hear the thing starting. The beast is headed towards the barn.
I'm gonna yell, "Something's pulling it. Something's controlling it. I don't know."
And both of you can hear that. Tomas, you headed
Maybe it
towards the
likes
barn?
trucks.
All doggies like to go for car rides, don't they?
All right, we get one more action inside the barn before the beast
okay.
gets here.
I already connected the light in the palm, and that's why I grabbed the bracelet. And then he's telling me that the dog really is coming after something it wants in the barn. I don't think it takes a genius to put 2 and 2 together and get 17 and a quarter. So
what's Lucky going to do?
You're going to love this. In the barn, is there a shovel?
Of course there's a shovel.
It's a
I'm
barn.
going to make the world's fastest teeter-totter catapult.
Got it.
And as it gets to the door, I am going to launch that bracelet straight past its ear and as far out as I can get it to fly.
Very, very nice. So no roll to build our little catapult, but let's go ahead and let's do the same thing as let's just do another coordination fighting. One success.
Coordination is 11. So fighting, I don't have fighting. With me, it's the mechanical engineering and that sort of thing.
You've got a momentum.
I'll use 1 momentum for an extra die. So 1, 2, 3.
and you got your success.
Yeah.
You slam your foot down on the shovel, and we see the bracelet just launch. And as the dog is coming through the door, the bracelet flies back over its head. It begins to kind of go around the milk truck, headed directly towards where you're standing, Lucky. And right before it gets to you, all of a sudden and it just gets pulled backwards and just starts flying backwards, and almost like it's being dragged outside of the barn. Amelia, you pop this thing into reverse. You hit the gas. You have to pump it a little bit, and it just kind of goes and moves about 4.5, 5 feet back, and then it and shuts off. Tomas, you make it to the eastern door. What are we doing? Any of the three?
I would strongly recommend we go underground.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
just like, what happened? What were you? What?
I found his binky and threw it out the door. Come on, let's go.
So we see
I don't know this word, but okay. Let's just yes.
We see Lucky run and almost dive for where the back left tire was, and just kind of pushes the hay aside, grabs the ring, pulls open the door. No light, no anything but a ladder. And we see each of you work your way down the ladder. We see Amelia's hand come up, grab the top of the ring, and pull it back down as it shuts as we fade to black. Let's go to credits. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. So I think I'm going to start. Well, first of all, really appreciate all the bits battles and stuff that everybody was doing. And I really love all of the conversations for those of you watching live. It's really awesome to see kind of the community engaging with each other as we get to play. I don't get to read it all, but I see it all happening as I try to stay focused on the game. I am still... I can't decide if I'm struggling with this system, like struggling whether I like this system, or I'm just struggling due to lack of system mastery. I felt like this combat dragged a little bit, though I think all of us did a good job making it exciting, right? I think it was still very cinematic. It was still very exciting. But part of that is because that beast was not going to get shot, right? The guns weren't going to bring it down. I don't know.
And then I rolled a 20 on the truck.
Like, I think it's just familiarity for me. I think I do like this system. I love the setting. And the combat felt simpler to me this time than it did the first time. I don't know.
Definitely.
Victoria, what are you feeling? Like system wise, mechanically.
I'm still struggling with some of the math, particularly the damage die, where like the 3s and 4s don't do anything that's really a weird thing to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I mean they've got funky die, which makes it real simple. Like it has
Yeah.
one success, then 2 dots on where the twos would be, and then blanks, and then. But yeah, using just regular D6 it is definitely a little odd. It's a little odd. What do you think about like just the building of your target number and the D20 pools? Do you like that?
I do.
Wasn't
I think
talking to you.
I think it's good for the most part. Although the momentum thing, I think it would be maybe nice to have an individual momentum building type of situation, but like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um
I think I dig the pool thing, but I know what you're saying. And you guys were starved this time for momentum, right? So I think that's another factor that's involved in this too, because you guys were shooting guns in stormy weather, right? So your difficulties were so high that you never
Yeah,
really had a
everything was
chance.
hard.
Yeah, didn't have a chance. So that's actually a really good point, Victoria, that maybe that's what dragged it too, right? Is you guys didn't have a ton
mhm.
of momentum to work with. All right, Patrick, your turn now. You can tell me what you think.
I liked it. I think the combats are going to drag with this group a little bit, just because we're not built for a combat group.
Yeah.
Amelia is a little bit, but she's still not a real combat class. I'm not. I don't think Lucky is either. So
No,
when
I'm
we did a lot more
absolutely
role
not.
playing, when we did a lot of role playing, we were racking up the momentum and we were getting a lot of
Right.
stuff there. So I think we're just built more to do more role playing and get our momentum and really use the system there.
Yep. All right. So Mike, this is your first exposure to the system. Where are
Yep.
you after 2 sessions?
I'm liking it, but I think what Craig just said is, Patrick just said is really accurate. I think we're starting to modify though and realize that because we aren't combat veterans, we got to A-team this thing. Where that's why I was going for the vehicle. I was going, the hell with guns, they're not working for us.
Yeah.
Let's get something big and heavy to pin it to the wall. That's what I was going for, was just 4-wheel drift it into the wall and say, let's go and let's see if it can move a truck, or like I said, or speed bump it. But the catapult was the same thing. I wasn't thinking inside of straight combat. It was just, what would the A-team do?
Yep.
Someone said, what would Audie Murphy do? Well, Audie Murphy wouldn't miss.
Yeah, and Kodamajo in the chat, is 2D20 is about big action. We definitely had that, right? We had some pretty exciting moments. The whole thing with Lucky and the dog. I mean, you were 2-on-1 there, and how you came out of that without an injury is amazing and exciting. All the ones that Patrick was rolling.
Yeah.
Amelia just saying, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead," just popping people off. I mean, it was definitely exciting. And yeah, I don't, so I hate prolonged combat. I like all action to be quick. I don't like a grind. And this was a little too grindy for me, but I think the points that all three of you made are why, right? So the extra difficulties, the lack of momentum, the fact that you're not built for combat, you're not a bunch of Rambos that are out there. That might be why we're there, and the resilience that the demon spawn dog had. That's why it was grounded. Compared to the other combats, if you remember in the first session, that other combat was like that, right? Amelia just like pop, you're all dead. So, all right, so. For those of you watching, first of all, again, thanks for those of you that are watching live. I appreciate it. If you're enjoying this, we do have a Patreon. If you feel like $1 a month is worth what you just saw, you can just go to patreon.com, search for Third Floor Wars. Podcast is called Tabletop Talk. It's a weekly podcast, and we've also got some other plugs. Who wants to do the first one? How about you, Vic?
Sure. I am now 1/5 of the Steam Powered Scoundrels podcast. My husband and I, then also Roman, Nate, and Eli, run a podcast about Malifaux, but the weird outlying stuff in Malifaux. We don't really talk meta. We don't really talk games. But if you want to hear our headcanons or our ships, or just us fighting about who the best cook in Malifaux is. Steam Powered Scoundrels is available on any podcatcher now. So it's going to be like Podbean, Google,
It's everywhere now, which is
Spotify.
great.
It is everywhere now. You could also come join our Discord. Also Steam Powered Scoundrels.
And if someone is
If Doug wants to throw up a link, I know he's in there.
If it's if someone becomes an active listener and like is on the Discord, listens to every episode, do we have a name for somebody who just loves the podcast?
Absolutely not.
I don't think one's ever been invented.
Good. I'm gonna have to look into that. Patrick or Mike, is there anything that you're enjoying that you want to plug?
There is one thing I want to plug. Sorry, Patrick, I'll jump in first here.
You're fine.
It's coming up on the holidays, and well, some people have family and all that, and get together. I know some gamers get very down and depressed during the holidays, and I just want to say, take care of yourself, stay sane, folks. I just spent about an hour earlier today recording a suicide prevention thing for another game, but it's serious. The holidays can be rough on people. Take care of yourselves. I don't know you, but I'd like you to keep watching this, and I'd like you to keep playing games. So be good, huh?
Very cool, Mike. Thank you. How about for you, Patrick? Beat that one.
Yeah, I mean, the closest I have is I'm boring. I work and I play RPGs, but I'll plug. I run a molecular biology testing lab. My volume's going back up. Get your vaccine, please. That's all I'll plug.
I like that idea. I like that idea. Like get the poke. Get the poke.
I don't want to get my money this way. Please do it another way.
All right. So this Saturday we're doing our next episode of Call of Cthulhu. This Sunday, the really by far the most popular stream we got going right now, partially because of the Kickstarter, is our Mothership. So the next episode of Mothership is going to be on Sunday. So Saturday's Call of Cthulhu, Sunday is Mothership. For everybody that watched, thank you. Let me just quickly let's do a raid. And now we're not going to raid. We'll just end it. Thanks.